What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus, and it's match day. Not just match day, Champions League match day. We got RB Leipzig, and it's away from home. This is one that was labeled a tricky fixture by all of us right at the draw, and we are hyped up for this one. I'm so stoked for this game. I got Scan Guy, I got Omer. Fellas, are you jacked up for this one or what?
Absolutely. How can you not be?
Fired up. Scan Guy, how you feeling?
Easiest match this season right now.
Oh my god, and he starts right there. Okay, there we go.
Buckle up.
There we go. Easiest match of the season. What a way to start this one. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I did have some fun in the build up to this one, and a shout out to my friend Justin from RBL Talk podcast. He was kind enough to invite me over, do a little show on his channel, and he joined us and gave us a little bit of short content there for that short I put together, Crossing Enemy Lines, which we are going to start doing. I'm going to try to do it every match. I'm having a tough time finding a Cagliari fan. Surprise, surprise. But that's the next one on deck, so we're going to try to do it. There was a lot of requests to do this for the build-up to all the matches and find fans from all these clubs and just have a little shake-up on the thoughts and feelings from both sides going into it. So we're going to try that. But big shout-out again to our friend Justin there. And he's pretty weary of us. He's very well aware of what we can do. And there's a lot of similar feelings, but interesting enough, his man to watch in this game, Kenan Yildiz. Kenan Yildiz. We'll talk about all that. Everything in the build-up to this game, it's been so quiet around news. It's actually a breath of fresh air. It's nice. We actually talked about this in the green room. How nice is it to go into a match and there's no nonsense? Like, there's been no news. It's strictly just about Motta, the lineup, what he's going to do. This is actually refreshing, you know? Like, hey, nothing.
Good show, everybody.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Let's go. I'm fired up for it. I'm pumped that it's quiet. There's no background noise, and the guys could just focus on the task at hand. And it's quite a task today. We're going to get into lineup discussions. There were some wild cards, especially in the midfield. Today, we get another one. And the theme to the show, tough calls. Motta's got some interesting decisions to make. Is he going to be pulling all the right strings yet again today against RB Leipzig? We will look at it all together, and we're going to say what's up to everybody in the chat right now. Forza Juve coming in here. I see Juve Cornercast getting their stuff fired up. Want to do a little collab? Reach out. We'll be more than happy to oblige, all right? More than happy to join up there. As far as everybody else jumping in here, Bino ended up calling in sick for the Champions League clash. There you go. There you go. I can't do so. I wish I could have done the same and run a watch along, but no such luck. But happy that you get to. We've already got an early prediction. 2-0. Nico and Gatti. All right. RB Cobbs in here. Ciao, ciao. Matt, Swarid, everybody. Great to see you all as we get ready for this big Champions League clash. And we're going to talk about the lineups. Talk about the guessing game that was going on leading into this. A lot of talk about Douglas Luiz, trying to get him into the lineup. We had a ton of discussions around Kefren Thuram going in there. It seemed like Locatelli was for sure a lock. McKennie was in that starting lineup. All of a sudden today, McKennie is still in question. But Fagioli apparently ahead of Locatelli. Now, guys, in the lineup, in the discussions to this, everything at the back seemed locked in. Di Gregorio is going to jump back in. Gatti's jumping back in. In the middle of the pitch, who do you think is the best combination to go with given our opponent, RB Leipzig? And we're going to start with Omer.
According to the media, playing two midfielders, because they kind of gambled on everyone. Motta might play this guy with this guy, McKennie with Thuram, maybe, even we heard. I really don't know. If you're saying now Fagioli might play over Locatelli, I have no idea what's going on in Motta's mind. I think it's a positive. It's some sort of a fun excitement before the match, trying to guess the lineup. And we're kept surprised every match. I would personally go with Locatelli and Thuram.
That's my
Yeah,
That's
but I
why
mean,
I would do this one. I'm looking at Douglas Luiz for Cagliari to start because I don't think we're going to need that today. I think this Leipzig's not going to be sitting back, everybody. We'll get opportunities. This will be an open game. I don't think we're going to. And that's why I would just probably break them up more than anything with Thuram and Locatelli and keep Colt Miners ahead. And Gonzalez is going to be. He'll look better in a game like this than against those closed off matches. So Conceição, I'm fine with him coming off the bench. But yeah, I don't think we have to overthink it in the middle of the pitch. Fagioli's an interesting decision because then you're going to have McKennie up advanced with Colt Miners. That's an interesting call. We're going to see a flat 4-4-2 from Leipzig. We'll get to them in a minute. But yeah, it's interesting there. Skanga, how do you feel when you hear about like all these different possibilities? Is there a preference for you?
No, so how many? I guess I'll just answer the question with a question because that's the easiest way to answer the question. Is just divert back to you two. How many lineups post game has Motta got wrong? Not many. He's gotten individual players maybe here and there, but on the whole, his lineups have been pretty spot on. His substitutions are where he's really, picked up steam in my eyes. So I'm not so concerned about who's starting. I think he has his plan. I'm okay with Fagioli in there, even though Locatelli is probably one of our top three players this year. I think, could you argue against that? On average, game in, game out, he's up there with consistent play. He has a plan. I would start Locatelli personally, but Motta has a game plan against these guys, and if it's to get Colt Miners and McKennie advanced, I got a stat on that when we get to it. I think, to your point, if he's doing that to put Fagioli in to get those two advanced, I think I know why.
Yeah, my concern.
You think maybe it gives a little preference to the league by doing so? Like domestically is a bit more important to me, and I'm willing to be more courageous in the Champions League.
That's an interesting point because, yeah, in these open games, you could go with any of these guys in the middle.
Bingo.
And I don't think you're going to see too many shortcomings other than my one concern. And my one concern is Fagioli in a game where we play against Genoa, where we get almost 70% possession throughout the entire game, is not going to be tested or challenged defensively. And he wasn't. And you're going to have McKennie there that's more advanced as well, and then Colt Miners. I'm a little bit concerned, a little bit weary from a team that is actually dangerous, especially in transition, in attacking. RB Leipzig can create problems. You've got Ram, you've got Xavi Simons, you've got Openda and Seshko that are all going to be up there. The guys at the back could use a little bit help. That's why I'd feel a lot better if Locatelli was there, me personally. Just from the defensive aspect. I feel like this one, it's a little more wide open. It's a little more wide open from us. And I'd actually be surprised if Fagioli got in there with McKennie and Colt Miners. Are you guys, is there no other concern defensively with that lineup?
No, there is. Defensively, no. But I agree with your point. Fagioli and Locatelli offer the same thing going forward. But Locatelli also offers defensive solidity.
I'd argue Fagioli's got a little bit more going forward. Like against Genoa, also he played a little bit out on the left side, advanced when we made certain substitutions. I'd say going further up is where I think many of us eventually see Fagioli playing. But now in the heart of these games, that defensive solidity is going to kind of be tested for him. And I don't know if I like that to be experimented with against Leipzig away from home. That's just me. I don't know.
I kind of want him to be a bit more courageous. Yeah, we might concede that that's the price you pay for trying something different. And, if it works out, then it doesn't really matter in the end.
Sure.
I prefer that even at that point where like it can go any way and teams can still lose. That's the time to do it. When we get to like City and it's 3 games, and 3 games left, then maybe the bit more defensive approach and calculated would be more useful. Now is the time to kind of try out things if you want to do it.
So, just to kind of add to that, for me, our defense, especially with Gatti and Bremer in the middle there, which we're assuming they're going to start today. I haven't heard anything to the contrary to that. With those two starting at the back, Omer saying being courageous is a good word for it. Going for it, they've locked things down at the back. So if there's a time to try it, a more attacking style, and you want more attacking players or players that help the attack, we sort of agree that that's Fagioli over Locatelli, even though Locatelli's better defensively. This is the game to do it. The defense is playing well. There's no holes at the back at the moment. Let's go after this game away from home. If you're going to do it away from home. Second game of Champions League.
I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree, fellas. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Which team so far has tested us with numbers going forward? Actually sending bodies forward and pushing us so far this season.
Eindhoven? Yeah.
Three forward? Like Leipzig's going to send you're going to get 4 sometimes even 5 going forward. They're going to push early for a goal because they're at home and they want to get the jump on us. They're going to want to put Juve in an adverse scenario. I don't think we've been tested. Like, I get the defense has been solid at the back, but it's also received help defensively out of that midfield. And I don't think this is the game to try it with Fagioli there when you're actually, for the first time, in my opinion, going to be tested with serious numbers and serious attacks going forward. I don't think we've been tested to the degree Leipzig will challenge us today.
We can also.
When do you try it?
You would try it in a home match, and you would try it against a team that's probably not as dangerous going forward as Leipzig. That's what I would do. I mean, the numbers across the board for these guys are strong. Xavi Simons, 2 goals, 2 assists. Between Openda and Šeško, there's 8 goals. I think there's like 7 assists between them. They're strong. Their midfield, they've got some good, solid midfielders in there too. The fact that they're at home and they will not play this sitting back, they're not going to concede the ball to us. I think if we think we're getting 66% possession in this one, I think that's a battle. I think it's going to be closer to a 52-48 split, man. A 55-45, somewhere in that range.
Disagree.
You think we're going to control the ball in this game?
Yes, sir.
To 66%? Over
Yes,
60? I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Right.
I don't see it happening. I think it's going to be a much more contested match.
I think we got to put the bike pumps away and stop pumping this team that we're playing today. I think we got to, give ourselves a little bit more credit. I think a lot of people are still mentally in the Allegri years. We're a better team than we were last year, and I think we're going to show that today.
Yeah, I don't know. I just see a team that went toe-to-toe with Atletico Madrid that lost 2-1, that put in a hell of a shift that I think should be taken seriously. I don't know. That's just me. I'm not going to write off RB Leipzig like we're going to come in here and stomp. I hope that happens, but I don't know. How's the chat feeling? Are you guys a little bit weary of this game? We called it from the outset a tricky game. It's not getting called a tricky game before the matches are even played because they're a step over.
They're third in the Bundesliga because the only teams they've played are in the bottom half, plus Leverkusen. So let's just pump the brakes.
Yeah, so what? We're going to discredit every single other league on every team we play against and not factor in any of the other Champions League matches as well?
No. Yep, correct. It was one Champions League match. Everybody gets lucky. I don't know. I'm not that impressed. So we'll see. We'll get to the numbers.
But you don't even watch the games. You don't even watch the other games in Serie A, so of course you're not impressed. What the hell does that mean? Omer!
Didn't even know all the other midfielders.
Omer, are you a little weary here? Come on.
No, I kind of agree with Ant. I think it's a bit more severe with him because I really have Like, I really rate Leipzig just as a team, and the project they have, the players they produced over the years. Like, I've been following them a lot. But as almost every team in Germany, they're suspect defensively. We talked about their attack and how great their attack is. Defensive, okay, they conceded like five up until now this season. Um, yeah, it's basically a battle between one of the best attacks in Europe right now to
Can
the
I
best defense in Europe.
can I give you a number? I'll give you one number that switched my mind
Give me
on this
numbers.
team. Stats don't lie, but 5 games in the Bundesliga aren't, statistically, you shouldn't use them as a statistical average. You need at least 30 points, but we only have 5 games. The one number that stood out to me that I highlighted, Juventus on average every game has 11 clearances from their area, right? So just out for a corner kick, out for a throw in, that's on average. Leipzig averages over 20 clearances from their half. That tells me that teams can get into dangerous areas on them, and all we need to do is convert on 10% of that. That's 2 goals. So
That's
teams are able to get into
I'm
dangerous areas
I'm
on
not
them.
nervous about our attack on them though. Like that part doesn't it's going to be an open game, but I'm just saying our defense will be tested for the first time, truly tested is what I think is
good.
going to happen. We'll get
Good.
Yeah,
our
I think they cleaned
chances.
up.
We'll have to
They
score,
could
but the key
nail
for
the
me
test.
is keeping it out of the back of the net. So again, it all goes back to the midfield because I think the midfield helps. And another stat, if we're going to throw stats out there, they've only
it.
conceded to Leverkusen in league. So they have 4 out of 5 clean sheets as well, no matter how many clearances they have. So they're still keeping the ball out of the net. Leverkusen scored 2, and Leipzig beat them 3-2, and that broke their 35-game unbeaten streak or whatever. So they're still holding it down in the league. And again, one Champions League match, they allowed 2 to Atletico, but that was a dogfight, and they could have come out with something out of that game. I just don't think this is like a pushover by any means. And I think we're still asking questions about our team. And if we're going to go back to the midfield, all I'm saying is I feel confident in our attack in open play. I'm not concerned about us getting our chances today. I might be a little concerned with execution and if we're going to bury enough, but I'm just saying defensively, the way Locatelli's playing, this is a game I don't piss around there in that role. And I play him 100%. I think you might be taking a little bit of a risk there. Hopefully, it works out if Motta goes that way. The rest of the lineup, I have zero issues with. There's been a lot of discussions about Kalulu playing in the center back role because there's some of the fans out there that still don't see Gatti as being able to work the ball well enough. And if you do look at some of the stats, some of the numbers around him on the ball, it's actually even behind Bremer in terms of being on the ball and passing percentages and accurate passing in the opponent's half and everything. But for me, it's a no-brainer. It's Bremer. It's Gatti. I play Kalulu at right back, and I use Cambiaso out at the left back because they're saying that because of Gatti, his poor ball play and everything, it's actually the reason Cambiaso has to invert so much, and it's why we can't offer the overlap to the left winger, mostly Yildiz. How do you guys feel about that? And would you look at any... It's not even in my mind to not play Gatti. And the fact of Cambiaso... No, you have more than enough players on the ball. I've said this the entire time. There's more than enough talent on the ball to distribute it properly. But are you guys even thinking about this? This guy's still not getting enough credit or respect to the start of the season, in my opinion. But
Omer.
No, I said at the beginning I think that's our strongest back four right now. Kalulu, Gatti, Bremer, Cambiaso. I think we need more defensive solidity on the right because their left side is the dangerous one with Raum and Xavi Simons. So yeah, that kind of writes itself down because Cambiaso gets a bit more freedom on the less offensive Leipzig wing. Yes, so it seems fine. But
all
it
right.
didn't seem to matter in any match so far.
Yeah, what are we talking about here?
It's been good, but the draws. Some people think that that's a personnel thing. I don't think it's a personnel thing. I think it's more approach and outset and urgency. It's a shame though against Genoa, we don't get to find out what happens in that second half because of that PK. But every day and twice on Sunday, I'll take that PK and I'll take the lead. That's another thing. Are we nervous about if we go down 1 goal? We know how Juve plays when we're up 1. Hopefully that's the case and we get the first one, but the first goal will be massive in this game. Agreed, gentlemen?
Yeah, it always is in Champions League.
Yeah.
Big time.
Always.
Big time. Do we have, this came up on the last one and Omer can speak to this, but the question was, does Motta open up even more if we hit that adverse scenario of going 1-0 down to Leipzig? My answer remains the same today, depending on the minute that happens, if it happens. If it's early, I think you still see a patient squad and a balanced squad.
Agreed. Yeah, you don't want to. It's a long season for Champions League. Even though it's just an added 2 games, but that goal differential could be huge. So if you're gonna, I don't think we lose today. I really don't. But if we are gonna go down, keep it to at least 1 goal. A maximum 1 goal differential. You don't want to start getting into -2-3, right? So
yeah, I think we'll see a very patient squad and approach, and Dragon's 8 agrees. We'll see a patient and take a point away at least. But we'll get to predictions in a bit. Storm the Barn, get your Storm the Barn questions in whenever you're ready. Again, all the talk, even with both sides, has really just been focused around the lineup. We have a new probable 11 for Juventus, just put out here 4 minutes ago. We will get into it first. We do have to talk about the opponents, Leipzig. So Marco Rose's men, they've tended to prefer a 4-4-2 so far over the course of this early start to the season, okay? And obviously led by the strike partnership of Openda and Benjamin Šeško. They've got, like I said, 8 goals between them in all comps and split evenly at 4 apiece. Openda's also added an assist to that tally, and Šeško's got 4 goals, 3 assists out of 7 matches. Xavi Simons, for me, is the player to watch for Leipzig. I think he'll be one that he's got the profile that prototypically gives a Juventus side issues. So it'll be an interesting one to watch there with Xavi Simons. He's hit the ground running so far this season, 2 goals, 2 assists. He's obviously PSG property and on loan and is supposed to return to PSG at season's end. In terms of league results, we went over it. Leipzig, joint second best defensive record in all of Europe's top 5 leagues. Level with Arne Slot's Liverpool. Second to who? Us, of course. Motta's Juve, the top defensive side in the top 5 leagues in Europe, all right? And when it comes to them, like I said, 4 clean sheets from 5. Only Leverkusen breaking them for 2 goals. In league play, in Champions League, Atletico Madrid getting the better of them 2-1. What we expect to see from them, 4-4-2, Gulakshi, Gertruda, Orban, Lukeba, Raum, Nus, Seawold, Idera, Simons, Openda, and Šeško. That is it for RB Leipzig at home. And again, expect them to come at us hard from the opening gate. I expect a cagey 10 to 15 minutes where we try to find our bearings and then grow into this game.
That's always the case.
Yeah.
That's always the case.
Now, for Juve, the change, it is indeed Fagioli, according to the latest probable lineup. Di Gregorio, Kalulu, Gatti, Bremer, Cambiaso, McKennie, Fagioli, Cope Miners, Gonzalez, Yildiz, Vlahovic. 4-1-4-1. Now, there you have it. It's said that the choice to go to Fagioli rather than Locatelli is, in fact, to exploit RB Leipzig. Hey, Godspeed. Hope it happens. Let's get it done. Some other things around this game. Anth, you've got the referee. Let's get into it. We're going to get into the referee. We're going to get into some betting lines and have some fun. Reminder, everybody, get your likes in right now. And Skanga, fire away.
Okay, so hopefully Lou's not watching this right now. So it is a French referee, Francois Letizier. Who knows? Whatever. It's a French dude. Young guy, but he's done 159 League One. It's League One. League One matches, 4.2 yellows per game, 159 matches, 39 reds. Okay. 63 PKs. That sounds like a lot.
Yes.
That sounds like a lot. He's done 17 Champions League matches, averages just under 4 yellows a game. In 17 Champions League matches, 6 reds, 6 PKs.
Yes.
Also sounds like a lot.
So you're saying there's a chance. All right. PK.
He doesn't keep the whistle in the pocket, that's for sure.
There we go.
Yeah. Damn.
All right. So Frenchie McFrencherson is going to be on the whistle. All right.
Yeah, we'll call him.
The betting lines, Mr. Skanga.
Oh, yeah. So RB is a slight favorite here at plus 145. Juve is plus 190. Draw plus 220.
Plus.
I'm not calling a draw today, but I'm saying that's a good betting line for a draw, plus 220. Once we get into the score lines and predictions, I can give you the score line predictions once we get into that, but I don't know if we're quite ready for that yet.
We are going to get into, I think, predictions. I think it's time to fire away. Everybody that's, and yes, they are favorites, slight favorites though, okay?
Slight.
But let's get into it. Let's get into the predictions. We're not going to waste any time. You guys know the drill, okay? It's final score. It is 2 tiebreakers. Let's fire it out there and see how everybody actually is feeling about this one right now. We got a quick one in here from Matt. He's wasted no time, and he's going 3-1 Juve. Who's going to kick it off for us, fellas? We got 1-1. We got 3-0 Leipzig. Doctor. Woo!
So the 3-1 scoreline and the 3-0 scoreline are both plus 2,600. Just put that out there. I can start. I'm ready to go.
Fire away.
Now that we know that Dusan started, I know there was some rumors that he may not be starting. I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, you know what? We never, ever would. I was never buying that one for a second.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, I would have been shocked. I don't think, again, speaking to everything.
Would you have been, though?
Yeah, actually, I would have. On the back of a brace is when you choose to do that, especially when all week, all we were hearing was that the focus was Cope Miners and Vlahovic and kind of building that connection and that chemistry. I'd be very, very shocked. I would have been shocked. You wouldn't have been?
I guess I wouldn't have been surprised if he doesn't start on the weekend against Cagliari. Because he hasn't sat yet, right? So, but we have an international break coming up after Cagliari?
There'll be one in October, yeah, but we're going to have, for me, the Cagliari game, like that's going to be another low block. So, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where they opted to make a change. But nonetheless, move forward.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dusan at plus 220. Like, what are we talking about here? That sounds like easy money to me. I'm also going to go with the 2-1 win for Juve. That's plus 1,000. Again, sounds like easy money to me. Tiebreakers. I haven't really thought about tiebreakers. I haven't dug in it. Omer, give your predictions. Loop back to me with the tiebreakers.
Anthony Easy Money Skanga. I think we got a new nickname for this guy. Easy Money. Easy Money. That's actually a good nickname. I like it. Easy Money. Omer, fire away, brother.
I'm 2-2 or 2-1. Like, that's my guess. I think I'll go with the 2-1 because there's nothing on the line for me. For Juve.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And tiebreakers. It does seem like the type of game Dusan, would do well in. Kind of plays to his characteristics. A bit more open, face the goal, not a low block. Yeah, Dusan gets one.
Okay.
Dusan gets one, and Yildiz gets one.
And Yildiz, okay. Yeah. So far, you guys are the same. 2-1 score lines. Dusan scoring. Not a lot of variance there. Maybe Berto. Maybe old Berto will bring some variance here. We got 3-1 coming in here. Juve Corner Cast. We got 2-1 Juve from Animesh. 2-1 seems to be the popular one here. Dragons 8. 3-2. Cope scores and assists. We got RB with 2-1. We got a 3-1 Leipzig. We've got a 2-0 Dusan and Chico. Chico coming in off the bench. We got another 2-1 Juve. Suarez got a bet. What's that?
I just put a bet on Dusan hat trick plus 12,000. Why not?
Good luck.
Almost
easy
no
money might go into a different nickname now. A little risky there. Risky business. It's either easy money or risky business. One of the two. Skanga will see what his nickname is. 3-0. Pino there. Dusan, Mac, header off a corner, and Chico off the bench. Andiamo. So, and we got more in here.
Bronies with the 2-0 Leipzig.
3-1 Juve here. 2-0 Juve. 2-0 Leipzig, because my predictions are always wrong. I like that. Okay, I like that. Reversing it there.
Don't even put it into the universe, you son of a bitch.
2-0 Leipzig. So I had 2-1 yesterday. Everybody saw my little collab there with Justin from RBL Talk, and I'm thinking it's 2-1 or could quite possibly be a draw. Today, though, however, just because of what I said, that Fagioli is questionable on the defensive side of things, on a team that is going to finally play all-out attack and truly test us. Just because of that, I'm going, and to be different from the other two, we're not conceding today. And I'm going to say it's going 2-0 Juventus, and Cope Miners gets his first on the board for Juventus in this game. So 1 goal from a midfielder. And because of Frenchie McFrencherson, one's a PK. There you go. That's my prediction, okay? I'm going 2-0. Cope finds one, and the other will be a PK, which will put Dusan on it. All right?
I'm going Juventus. Also, my other tiebreaker, Juventus over 64% possession. I got to stick to my guns.
Over how much?
64%.
Over 64 possession. Okay.
Yep.
Sticking to your guns. Bang, bang. All right. There you go. This is going to be... I'm hyped for this game. I wish there was a watch-along, everybody, but unfortunately no watch-along today from me. Work calls. I saw a question here. What kit are you wearing today? Well, I have a dentist appointment this morning, okay? And you can't wear a kit to a dentist appointment, all right? It's just not happening. It's not happening.
It's the spray.
It's not happening. Not happening. Then I got to go to work. I'm going to be watching this game at work. No kit being worn today, but I'll probably have like a Juve t-shirt or something on just to still represent on these Champions League nights. But let's see. And Pino's appreciating keeping that clean sheet going there. Let's go. 64% possession. Let's be real. Well, he's got to stick to the guns. This match, though, we got to talk about it because it was already brought up on the last live. Like, say Juve comes in here, no matter what the scoreline in, pulls the 3 points, okay? Which we're hoping we do. And I do believe we've got a solid chance. Like, any of these scorelines are possible. This game could easily go either way for me. Leipzig could win this one 2-1. We could win it 2-1. It could end in a 2-2 draw. Could end in a 1-1 draw. But the 3 points in this one, Juve steps in there, gets it done. According to Skanga, you probably don't see it as a big pick-me-up if you're thinking it's going to come easy or whatnot. But for me, this would be big for us moving forward, pulling the 3 points away in this matchup. I do, and maybe I am giving too much to Leipzig, but I don't feel I am. I think this is a solid boost for this squad to walk in there and take 3 points.
Oh, I didn't say that this wouldn't be huge for Juve. I just said don't downplay how good we're playing. Not you. I'm just saying we should not downplay as a fan base how good we've playing and start pumping up this other team. That's named after an energy drink. Like, what the hell are we talking about here? Like, let's look at ourselves and be like, we're playing well. It would be a big win. Any win away from home in Champions League is huge, right? Especially with this new format. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like the way Motta plays, he likes to kind of control the game. He likes it balanced because he is a balanced coach. He's not Allegri and he's not De Zerbi. He's somewhere in the middle, which is basically balanced. He'll try to keep the ball. It wouldn't be just kick it up and hoping like Dushan lays it off to someone and quick sprints from everyone forward and then back. He'll try to keep the ball in defense, break the pressure, and go forward. If he manages to do that and break like the first line, then it's game on. But if Leipzig like take full control of this match and you would kind of have to play defensive, eventually they'll score. We are playing against a very good team, a team that is in the Champions League for a long time now and gave a lot of problems to a lot of big teams.
Yep.
And so I wouldn't downplay their abilities and their players and their project. But it is a very interesting match between two interesting managers, two interesting teams that maybe kind of plays the same way. It will be interesting because if we have two like equal teams, that's where the personal qualities pop up, and those are the type of games that players like win with one brilliant move. It could be Xavi Simons, it could be Coop Miners for either side, which I'm all here for, by the way.
I guess like I'm not really overhyping us. I'm not downplaying us. I just think this is going to be a battle between two teams that, like you just touched on, Omer, very similar in what they want to accomplish on the pitch. Like they want to clamp down, but they're not afraid to get forward and get after it. We're not afraid to get forward and get after it either. So I just see it being similar. It wouldn't surprise me if you get a large portion of this game end to end. I said this could potentially be one of the better watches out of this second round of Champions League games. This might be one of the best watches in the second round. Yeah, it could easily be one of the most exciting ones.
You think there's any way this game stays scoreless?
No.
Well, stats would suggest otherwise. I mean, we barely saw any 3-0 or 0-0 predictions in there, which now seems to be the favorite. Like the safest bet.
Not with Frenchie Fredrickson on the whistle, that's for sure.
Pierre, yeah.
Hey, there's a PK coming in this game. Hopefully it's for the good guys, okay? But it's I think we're going to be in for a really like as a neutral, this would be the game to watch. For one of the fans on both sides, I think we're going to be pretty nervous, pretty anxious through this game because I can see it playing out very aggressively for both of them to get that first goal because of how they like to clamp down as well. But they will push. I think they will push even with on one or whatnot. We might be a lot more, balanced. Let's say a little bit pragmatic if we get the first one as opposed to them. But God damn it, that first one's going to be huge. We got to get after that first goal and hopefully we find it. They pose some threats. But so do we. And again, I think a lot of it, and even for me myself, if I'm looking at it with Juventus, because I saw someone come in saying that on one of our social media platforms, and I put out the scoreline, or I put out the October fixture list. We could talk about that too, right? So we've got Leipzig, we've got Cagliari, we've got Lazio, you got Stuttgart, who actually put in a great performance against Real Madrid. Obviously got nothing out of it, but still. Inter, and then Parma. This is a really, really good test of a month for Juventus. And looking at this one, the boost we can get from it and whatnot, like, I said, how many points? Like, or just where do you see us finishing this month as far as results go? Everyone knows I've made a bold claim, and that was that we do not lose a game in October.
Fully agree.
I say we don't lose one game in October. And one of the comments, which I was going to get to, is that our attack is not strong enough. I don't feel that way whatsoever. And I know that those draws lead some down that path, but it's not apples to apples. And that same comment was carried forward in the RB Leipzig preview little crossing enemy lines where he said our attack's not good enough to disagree completely. What did we say going from Napoli to PSV? I said it's going to be night and day. If you want to play us wide open, you'll see we'll be able to punch you in the throat. And we did. But this game, the reason I ultimately still have confidence that we get it done is because you can't play us that way, but Leipzig plays that way. They don't play any other way. They clamp down when they have to, and they're actually capable of doing so. But their main go-to, and all their fans are saying the same. Take Justin's word from RBL Talk. He says, if we don't score 2, we don't win this game. Do they score 2 on us? I say no. They could get 1. I don't see them scoring 2 on us. I don't see them bagging 2. That's why I think draw.
It's on them.
Yeah, draw minimal for Juve. But a strong chance we get the 3 points because I don't see them bagging 2 on us. But they will be dangerous and they will pose our first real test. Going back to this October fixture list, Ant, you agree with me? You don't see us losing a game? Obviously, there's good tests in there.
I can go through every game if you want.
Trim's going 5 wins, 1 draw. I don't know about 5 wins. I'm just saying we don't lose one. But yeah, let's go through all the games.
Completely with Trim here. So we only have 2 away games of the 6. So it's this one and the Inter game. The other 4 are at home. So I have win today, win against Cagliari, win against Lazio, draw against Stuttgart, win against Inter, and a win against Parma for 5 wins, a draw, 12 goals for, 3 against in 6 games.
I think we draw Inter away, beat Lazio, beat Cagliari. Stuttgart might be the tricky one. Stuttgart is where I might say like an L.
Huh. Like a letdown, like a banana peel?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm interested.
I'm going to go draw because that Inter match, yeah, I'm going to go draw there. I'm going to say wins against Cagliari, win against Stuttgart, potential draw, surprise draw with Lazio, and then, or potential draw against Parma and beat Lazio. But one of those, flip them any way you want. Be like that. It's going to be...
You want to know something? It's that Lazio game because we never play strong coming back from a international break. Right? That could be
interesting to see. It'd be interesting, but it's a good solid month for October. Now going back to the attack, how this comment came in and said, I think we get 1 win or whatever. I have no faith in our attack. I have full faith.
We get 1 win? That's what somebody said?
There was a few saying, 1 win, 2 wins, and we were right away saying, this is Juve. What are we talking about, 1 win? There's no way we get only 1 win. But as far as the attack, the main comment here was no faith in the attack. I'm so far from no faith in the attack. Where do you stand on our attack?
So, okay, I understand people are hanging on to those 0-0 draws. We've played well at the back, so we won't even touch that. The midfield and the strikers up top, I think we're getting there. We are getting to where we need to be. It's just chemistry at this point. I think it's just chemistry and Motta having to figure out the low block. I think we're right there from breaking the dam open on goals. We're just right there.
Omer,
we have the talent. We don't have
more down to
like
personnel. More down to personnel than Motta's. I agree with Ant. It's Motta's to figure out.
Yeah, we talked about it in the previous show. It does seem to get better with each match, like the chemistry, the understanding. That's why, like, those 0-0 games are really early, where we're still trying things out, and some of those guys like playing first time together, and I believe it will get better as the month goes on. That international break is what kind of scares me. I hate those.
What's a concern you have with the attack, though? Factoring in these 0-0 draws, what's a legit concern you have about maybe it's struggling for a little bit longer?
Well, they all had like the same issue, the low block. Like they all had that in common, all those matches, which I don't think that's what we'll get. Not against Leipzig, not against Inter, not against Lazio, and not against Stuttgart.
Is there any concerns about the personnel that we have being able
No,
to help break down the low block?
No.
no,
No?
not for me. No, I'm still like on the Dushan train. That seems to be the main theme. Like the other guys are performing, it's Dushan who's not performing. But I think he will get into his rhythm as early as this month. A goal today like would be massive for him.
I think well, goals for him are always massive because we know how the mind works with that guy, so he has to be scoring. But
Yeah.
I think it's both. I think it's personnel and I think it's Motta. And the reason I'm going to say it's both because it has to be. Number one, the players are the ones on the pitch. They're playing. It's always going to involve them. But Motta's got to figure it out because that was a prime example against Genoa. And I said it. I came out here on the post-match. It showed Vlahovic's shortcomings and it showed his strengths all in the same match. Because when it was clamped down and it was locked down and we were struggling through that match to create in the first half, the ugly parts of his game, when his back's to goal, all that comes in. Then when it opens up, you see the strengths when he's running at the defense, when he's facing goal and everything. You have to figure out, and this is what's extremely difficult, we all talked about it, how to get this guy in the situations that favor him. And you have to take away those shortcomings. You have to limit them. That is very difficult to do in Italy, where the majority of the teams play with a 3-5-2 or 3-4-3 setup that turns into this low block defensively. That's very difficult to do. He's going to have to figure it out. There will be a couple Champions League sides that will also do that. There's not many, but there will be a couple that do that as well. That's why I say it's Motta, but it's also the personnel. He's got to figure out a way because we can't have Vlahovic getting into these battles every single game and watch him struggle and not try to change it, not try to, switch things up. That's why earlier when Anthony was talking about having him in for Cagliari, I actually feel slightly different. Like, they're going to put the low block. Maybe that is a game where you go with a guy that can play with the ball, like Nico Gonzalez, maybe play him more to feet and work off of him. Maybe that's a game you try it, right? But we can't eliminate Vlahovic completely out of those matches because 80%, 85% of them in Italy are going to be like that. So they got to figure it all out together.
Yeah, maybe Cagliari is actually where you keep working on it and not give it up.
Yeah,
but
there's
I don't know. I just need Dushan to move a bit more. Like if it's the type of game where he's just up there stuck in the center most of the time in the opposition area when we have the ball, it's not going to go well. Start moving. Stop. I'm not saying be Xerxes. I'm not saying participate in the build-up and have every ball run through you and you deliver the passes. Just drag those guys out. Drive them nuts. Get out. Get to the left. Fall back. Go to the right. Pull them out of possession. Make openings for others. And soon he'll find himself more available with his face to goal. And then he was.
I also said start dropping him out. To send Cope Miners through, send somebody else through to be on that last line to push him back, to open things up for a bit so maybe he can collect at the top of the area to try and take a strike. Because we still need to shoot more from range. Like we've got to start shooting more, especially against low block. There's no reason you walk out of any halftimes at 66% possession with 2 attempts. That's brutal. So we've all got to work on it, but that's why I say it's personnel, it's Motta together. They got to sort it. Storm the Barn, Swarit. Thoughts on the carnage caused by some of the big clubs across Europe last night? I saw the instance with Dortmund. What else? What did I miss with some of these other clubs?
Inter won 4-0. There was a 5-0, 3-0.
Oh, is he just talking score? I thought he was talking about the UEFA Mafia banner, which I actually appreciated from Dortmund. I thought he was talking about that. But if we're going to talk
Oh,
about
you
yeah.
had
score Celtic got
Hey,
thrashed, didn't they?
hey, dumbasses, where
yeah.
was that banner 18
Yeah,
months ago?
yeah.
Thanks. Now we
Everyone
have the
should
new
feel that way.
Champions
So
League. Good job.
7-1 Dortmund to Celtic,
Good
and
job.
they're the ones that had the UEFA Mafia banner like that.
Good
Inter against who?
Yeah,
Red
exactly.
Star Belgrade.
Is that a Croatian team? Who they play?
Red Star Belgrade.
Oh man, they don't
Oh,
come up as Red
okay.
Star Belgrade. So
No, it's
they come.
Vesna Skrevna, something like
Yeah,
that.
I had no idea
Yeah.
who that was.
Gazuta.
Okay, but 4-0.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not.
Barca 5-0. I mean, that's the opposite side of like making a larger tournament and adding more teams. That the gaps in quality are sometimes too big.
Young
Like
boys
CD
5-0
against
Barca.
Slovan
Leverkusen
Bratislava.
Milan 1-0. Okay. PSV
So
and
I guess
Sporting with the 1-1 draw. City against Slovan Bratislava. Arsenal 2-0 against PSG. Okay.
So do you guys want me to answer Sori's question? I don't really give a
Yeah.
shit what happened yesterday. Champions League is today at 2:45. I don't care what other teams do. Got to worry about yourself.
I don't
thanks
yeah,
for
I
the
don't know. I'm not really there's nothing in there really that's eye-opening to me.
Mm-hmm.
Am I alone in thinking that? Like, Omer, is
No,
there anything eye-opening there? Skanga, we know where Skanga stands.
Again, I think it's the differences of qualities. Like, sometimes when you look at stats of former strikers and you're like, wow, how did this guy, Haaland, after 15 goals, I don't know, like jump 10 guys in the ranking of all-time scorers. Like, those guys didn't play all those type of teams. Those are stat padding teams, and there's more and more of that even on international level. Yeah, like
Yeah.
City, who scored there? Like Holland, another
Okay.
goal.
So somebody in the
Barca,
chat
like,
here has
stat
mentioned
padding
that
matches.
Red Star Belgrade were the champions in 1990. Only me,
Yeah.
Berto, and Pino here were alive in 1990. So
Well,
no one
hey,
cares.
I was 2 months old.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, they were
yeah,
a great club.
like we're
They're not anymore.
1990 champions. Okay.
I remember 1990 very well.
So, does that stick with them for the following
Does that mean we're supposed to know their name? Like
2024? It's 2024. Okay?
It's 34
Like,
years.
Congratulations to Red Star Belgrade in 1990. But
Sounds like a Napoli fan.
no,
who
he's
won,
good.
like,
He's good.
2
And he's
years
saying
after
he's old
that?
too. Well, there you go. There you go. But
Oh,
I've never seen the Cervena Zvezda. Anyways, but 1990, yeah, it's a great year. It's a lot of good music back then.
amazing
music.
music.
Oh, the best. The best. Now, nothing eye-opening as far as what the opponents do. So to answer Swati's question, no, I still think we're fine. We need to focus on ourselves. As far as what we said before on this show, where does Juve stack up to these other sides and the bigger sides? And I remember Omer's answer like perfectly, and it was they almost feel all beatable this year, and in a one-off game, anything can happen. But going to Ant's point from earlier on this season, very early this season, you almost get the feeling we're very, very well suited for European action. Maybe more so than domestically. Today, against Leipzig, this will be a prime example. Based on everything we've said, everything we've analyzed going into this game, this is the perfect piece of evidence to tell us that we could do that and we could cause damage in this competition. I take this one as a major, major, major benchmark.
Well, that's a question for the chat as well. Where is it better to take risks? Because we had complained for a long time that we want Juve to be a bit more brave, push a bit more higher. Like during all of the Allegri tenure, eventually you have to take a risk somewhere. Do you prefer to be in the league or in Champions League?
Has to be Champions League. You have to
In
win
our-
your domestic league first.
If you're gonna
You
take
do not
risks,
take risks.
it's in Champions League.
I
100%.
fully agree.
Yeah,
That's
and
why I'm not concerned with a Motta surprise. Take the risk. Fine, it might not pay off. It might pay off.
he is full of
Perfect.
surprises. Let's see today if he pulls all the right strings.
Like
So
treasure
far,
chest at Red Lobster.
so
Never know
far
what's
I've
in
had
there.
no issues with what he's done. McKennie was a big talking point. I guess we should kind of talk before the next storm the barn. Some say he's earned it. Others say that the performances outside of one really haven't been good enough to still be in there. I see also an argument that he's simply a contrast and we have many similar midfielders. It's very interesting when you talk about McKennie. How do you guys feel about him getting that? This is the 4th consecutive match. If he's in there, McKennie gets the nod. How do you feel about it so far?
I think he's just bringing the energy that they need in the midfield, and I think he brings another. Going back to my point, because I rarely have good points, but that 20 clearances per game, on average, means opponents can get the balls into dangerous areas. I think he's just in there as another aerial threat in the first half, alongside Duchamp, just to see if we can sneak that 1-0 lead.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why he's there.
I think if you're going to play him, this is just me personally, and based on what I've seen so far this season, I think he brings you more in an open game than he does against like the bus against Genoa.
Fully agree.
That one doesn't make more sense, and that one would have made more sense to get a higher quality midfielder in there to help break down. So if you are going to play him, these are potentially the games where a little bit more open, a little bit more space for him, a little bit more advanced, can get in the area, cause that makes a little bit more sense to me personally. As far as his performances go, okay.
They've been okay.
One good match, his first start after the horror show cameo, that was a solid match. But after that, I think you pick and choose. And I think he will have his moments, but 4 straight, I think Motta can probably have to answer some questions when you're going up against a bus and you predicted a bus. That's my only knock with it. But hey, whatever, we'll see what happens. A lot of people calling for Thuram this game. You guys know my midfield. It would be Locatelli, Thuram, Cope Miners ahead. But Omer, what do you think about McKennie so far?
Well, there's obviously something there that we are not witnessing, that we don't know about. The decision has to be tactical. Still, Motta is a tactical coach, and there's something he wants from McKennie that maybe only McKennie can provide or have provided in training. We base our choice based on what we see in matches, which is fine. Let's say it's, I don't know, 50% of the decision. But what goes on in training, the demands, the understanding of the demands, and just making it happen on the pitch, maybe that's where Motta had it the easiest with McKennie, because he's been around a lot, and it seems to be a theme with every manager he had so far. At least at Juve, with Pirlo, Allegri, and Motta.
I really had to say that was a great point on the YouTube update videos there, because he said it's simply a contrast, I think, for Motta, because you can't have all the same cooks in the kitchen, that everybody wants the ball and to be on the ball and be this dictator in the midfield. You've got to break it up. So if you have all the same profiles in there, it doesn't really make for the best balance, right? So it could just simply be the fact that he's a change-up and he offers something different, especially just in terms of, running his bag off, the energy that Ant spoke to and some in the live chat here. It could just be that he's a change-up, right? And it's just about bouncing. We'll see.
It's like when you see a group of city workers working, but 7 are standing around, only one's digging a hole. McKennie's the guy digging the hole.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to the city workers out there. Get to work.
Work.
Bums. Let's go. Now, Forza Juve comes in here. Where would you rank Bremer compared to other defenders in the other leagues? I might be a bit biased. Hey, whatever. It's all good. Juve's the best. But if his passing keeps improving under Motta, I would rank him as number 1 in the world. Wow.
I agree.
Okay, and there's a big if there. If his passing continues to improve, and obviously it would have to improve quite a bit. One of the concerns I have is about this team, and again, going back to offense, how much we were creating through set pieces that has disappeared in the opening matches of this season.
That's what Dom C just put in the chat.
I do not like that. I do not like that. I want to see us start to agree. But in terms of Bremer's a beast, and I think with each season, it's like you can see another step. And we can all see it on the ball. There's been serious improvement there. I loved the comment when he was asked, back four, can't play in a back four. He said, that's complete bullshit. It's his answer, legit. That's complete bullshit. He could play a back four, has no problems. And I never had that fear. We came out here and say, at the end of the day, if he can't play in a back four, then he's not good enough for us. Because you're either a baller, you can figure it out, or you can't. And that's what it comes down to. And not to bring up past names, but we battled this with a lot of ex-players. He can only play here. He can only play there. It's bullshit. You know? Walk the walk if you want to talk the talk. Bottom line. Bremer's walking the fucking walk, boys. He's our MVP.
It's a family show, but yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Is he our MVP so far?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So far? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The
Just
numbers are all
solid.
around the defense.
And
It's crazy.
I don't even really think it's close.
You don't think it's close?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
It'd be
he's-
hard to
he's-
say that anybody comes close to his actual importance, because if you take any player and you say he's injured, he's out, he is the number one guy on my mind that I'm like, that's terrible if that
That's
happens.
a problem. Yep.
Vlahovic, I would also consider that, simply for the fact that there is no actual true striker there. So that's a different fear, but also a fear. But
Where did
Bremer's
Milik
an
go?
absolute beast. I wanted to pull this up just to kind of
Did
highlight.
somebody put Milik in a burlap sack and dump him in the river? Where the hell did he go?
I don't know, and we're not hearing anything like this guy. Is he in the East River here? What's going on?
What
Find
the
this
hell's
guy.
happening?
80
Can
touches
you
per
pitch
game
him?
for Bremer, 93% pass accuracy he's carrying. In his own half, 94%. In opposition half, 92%. He's 100% accurate on long balls, 100% accuracy on chip balls. Like, on the
That
ball,
can't be right. You want to know some? That can't be right, because we should have paid $50 million for a ball playing center back. If I hear that one more time, I'm gonna fucking lose it. I know it's a family show.
when
I
you-
shouldn't swear.
How do you rate a player like Bremer? Like, he is a defender. Eventually, like the only
Yeah.
knock we give him is
That's
in
their
the
first
attacking
job.
phase. Yeah,
It's his
and
job.
defensively, he's been unbeatable on the ground,
Yes.
in the air, in sprinting. It just nullifies so far every attacker that comes his way.
Yes.
Each and every
That's his
one.
job.
I would rate him not even top 5. I would rate him right now top 3. Like, he could walk
Yeah.
into almost every defense in Europe.
I was going to say top 5. He's definitely in the top 5. He's criminally overlooked in the discussion right now for center backs. Criminally
Which is
overlooked.
good for us. Don't mind him.
Yeah. Bremer
Don't
Island,
start paying
love it.
attention.
Love it. Stranded on Bremer Island. He pockets all the big men. And that's why I say I love it when they want to do that. So today will be interesting because it's a 2-man front set that we'll face. And Gatti and Bremer will both have their hands full with Openda and Šeško. So it's going to be interesting. I would think that both of those strikers will want to break free of Bremer, though. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But Bremer's an absolute unit, and the work he does is incredible.
Defensively, he's been like flawless. Flawless.
I want to go back to this ball playing center back thing. So again,
Oh, gosh, I shouldn't
the
have even brought it
mental
up.
gymnastics that are going into this call and still going on about it is wild, because it's like, well, Cambiaso has to invert and
It's
all this
October.
has to happen. We should use Kalulu there instead of Gatti because he's about... No. And it's like, well, you're going away from something that works because Kalulu's great in center back. Kalulu's only 2 missteps happened at the center back position. He recovered well from both of them. Those are the only 2 wrong steps he's put forth this season, and he's not that great aerially. It is Gatti, it is Bremer. Kalulu plays as right back because we need the fullbacks there. Cambiaso inverting, it doesn't matter where the hell you put this guy on the pitch. He is going to go to where the space is, to where he can collect the ball. That is not a negative, having him do that. It's still a positive. But they're saying because he inverts, he can't create the overlap. Of course he still can. He did it for Yildiz' goal against PSV Eindhoven. It'll still happen. You don't... It's just... It's a fight that isn't worth fighting right now, and it's not a problem. Gatti's numbers are far off of Bremer's on the ball in passing. They're quite a bit off in terms of percentage, accuracy. They're well off. And that's what still has people fighting this fight. But again, your first job is defending. That is the first. And when you have a midfield like ours, it's time to not focus on one ball playing center back. If we were pinned in our end and could never work it out of there, that's a problem. That's where you need. But from our final third on, that's your midfield, baby. Take care of business. And we have more than enough firepower.
Has no one watched our breakouts and counterattacks this year?
And I love the theory that it's so crucial to Motta. Motta used his fullback. So the same thing you're complaining about, Cambiaso inverting, getting forward, Motta did that last season. Calafiore didn't always play center back. He played left back at times too, and he would invert him to get in there. It's just the name people are focused on, but Motta uses center backs or fullbacks to get in there to create the numbers in the middle of the park. He doesn't care who it is. And that's the way it should be. So the mental gymnastics here are wild to me. That's all I'm saying. Wild.
Also, it's kind of what separates the best coaches from the regular coaches. I said the same about Dusan. You don't have a Zirkzee now. You have to find a way to play with Dusan. If you can only play your game when you have a very specific set of players, then you're not a great coach. Motta doesn't have a ball-playing CB right now. He does have other things he can use, like Cambiaso and the way he plays, like Kalulu and his solidity and calmness, like the aggressiveness of Gatti or the perfection of Bremer. And that's what he uses. That's improvement for Motta. He doesn't need to have a ball-playing center back. I think it's kind of obvious now.
It's a shame I got to leave the show on this
ball-playing. And Todibo is running on the bench.
We got Dom C.
Before I go, I got to head out. I got to head out. Just relax, everybody. We'll be fine today. Don't worry. Just take your Pepto pregame like I do, and everything will be fine.
This coming from the man that before, when match gets close, about 50 minutes, always we get the text message, the Achita's kicking in. All right?
Guts are churning.
The guts are churning.
Everybody out.
There you
All
go.
Right. Enjoy the game, everybody.
Thank you as always. Take care.
Set the tone.
We're going to keep it rolling here, everybody. We've got more firing up. Dom C, though, you're going to have to adjust your question here. So, hey, boys from Perth, Western Australia. Anybody else feel like we don't?
He asked it again. He typed it again. A bit further
down.
He
did?
Yeah, I think he accidentally posted it and then he completed it.
I can't see it. Oh, here we go. I found it. Dom C. Hey, boys from Perth, Western Australia. Anybody else think we look much worse at set pieces than... yes, absolutely. For all Allegri shortfalls, we were extremely threatening. Yes. That is consistent, and we've got to get that going. Those are luxuries that you have to take, especially not so much in Europe, but domestically. 1000% you have to take those, Omer, especially against a bus. You have to be threatening on set pieces. We got to find that.
Yeah, I think we will find it. And the problem with Allegri was that it was our main threat. Like if we didn't have any set pieces or just a bad game where we didn't attack, no corners, no nothing, the goals didn't come from anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something that needs to be worked on and needs to be better. But to be honest, we didn't have a whole lot
Yeah.
because we didn't have a lot of shots on goal.
Yeah, it's I just
But
don't
it is
understand it
important.
because a lot of the bodies are all the same guys. It's just it's weird. And to be honest, I'm with you, Omer. It is going to get better because you've got like better delivery now. Like I mean, you're going to have Colt Miners on those. Very, very good deliver on set pieces. Douglas Luiz hasn't shown it in that start against Empoli. I said his set pieces were very poor, which is highly uncharacteristic. We should get it going. Gatti and Bremer
Yeah.
have to get aggressive and start finding their way in there, and I believe we will, everybody. Guys, reminder, get the likes up. Okay, we got another one here from Fool's Mate. Do you think Yildiz is too wide and that he is much more dangerous being closer to Vlahovic? Dusan is kind of more involved in play and more dangerous first two games. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this shift against Genoa, and I highlighted that slight little inversion from Yildiz, taking him right off the sideline and more central, that Rui pushed up the left. God bless the kid, okay? It didn't go his way on the ball, but offering that and just getting Yildiz slightly more central, it changes him. When you give him more than one option, that's where Yildiz does his damage. And just that slight inversion gives him the opportunity to drift left, to go there, to cut inside, to just break through a seam. He's obviously better, slightly more inverted. And we saw that last year. We saw that last year in the 3-5-2 where he played more predominantly central, right?
Yeah, not a lot to add. I agree. When he's too wide, it's tougher to get out of the situation when you're always on the byline. You have two players like marking you. Even his goal in the Champions League, it was like near the area. All he needed was like 2-3 dribbles, and he was free to shoot. So yeah, I would agree. He's a bit too wide for me. I would like him more centrally, but still like occupying the left.
Yeah. It's going to be, man, I'm looking forward to this game so much. It's just, I wish I could run a watch along. Unfortunately, I cannot, but this is, I'm pretty psyched up for this game. Player to watch for Juventus. Who do you think is going to, absolutely has to put in a shift for us to succeed in this one? Who's going to be the key for Juve to succeed in this game? Obviously, it's going to be a team. It's the entire team. But one player you would say is going to be imperative for us.
Either Lucatelli or Fagioli, whoever starts. The breaking out of press, because we just talked about our defensive passing, and we don't have a defender who breaks out of press. It's on the midfield. Lucatelli did it great so far, and once we break that first line against attacking teams, then you start running forward with your attacking talent. So yeah, one of those guys, the conductor who all the balls go through him. If he's having a game, then Juve will find a lot of space to run and just a lot of threats, basically.
Yeah, it could very much be that position that is going to be critical for us. The one thing around Thiago Motta, man, he is full of surprises. That's why I found it so funny. Remember that Genoa match, the presser? He gave us the entire squad list. He gave us the entire starting lineup, and everybody was like, "Oh, I think he's just joking." I'm like, I don't know. I think he's just laughing because nobody expected it, and he literally gave it out. Now it's been hush hush. It's been back to the Motta we expect, and that is cards close to his chest. He ain't letting anything out. We'll see. It does appear there's more and more sources putting that Fagioli is in fact over Locatelli, and that could very well be the most important spot. So one of those players might be the actual key player for Juventus in this one, because not just breaking out and those transitions. But like we said, we're expecting this to be the first time our defense is really pushed, really pushed and tested. And that position will also have a lot to say and a lot to do in terms of the defense and helping our center backs. Now, over 64% possession. Anthony, do you think we see that much possession in this game?
No, I don't. Not away.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's going to be more balanced. And we've always said this around Motta. He is defense first. He is going to be very well aware of RB Leipzig, the way they like to play and how they are an attacking first team. I don't expect over 64% possession. I would be ecstatic if that's what we saw, though, because that's a big advantage for us if we can pull over 64% possession in terms of build up and creation. Yeah, because again, to your point, they're strong defensively in the league and everything, but they allow chances. So, yeah, I think we'll get our fair share of chances.
Yeah, and Motta showed that he had no issues passing it around the back until he pushes the other team further and further back. Like, he's not in a hurry to get out of defense. He will hold the ball and the defenders will pass it until he'll find the opening. This Juve is patient. I wouldn't say like cagey and playing it safe, but they are patient in their build-up.
Very patient. That's the perfect word.
Yeah, and that's like he is going to try to control the game. That's his way of defending and of creating attacks. He builds from the back. He holds the ball until you see openings, until he pulls the other guys out of position. And that's just the way he plays. I'm assuming he's going to try that. I don't know if Leipzig play, that a high line and high press like 90 minutes. So yeah, he will try to push them back. That's what I've seen from him so far. That's the way he likes to build his attacks.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. Yeah, we pulled 46% against PSV at home. I'm not expecting 64 or higher away from home against Leipzig. I just don't. But hey, props to Anthony. Somebody's got to be there and somebody's got to make those calls too. So I hope he's right in the end and I am wrong, because I'm expecting a very intense matchup today. But it is a winnable matchup. Again, predictions and 2-1. Omer 2-1. Myself, made the bold prediction going for the clean sheet 2-0. I had 2-1 before, but I switched it up today. Hey, I don't know what I'm feeling. It could just be a fever, but hopefully I'm right. Okay, I just hope we get the job done and win this one. I do see it as a big benchmark for this team and this squad moving forward in what's going to be a tricky October. One last thing we want to talk about is I see the comment on the right wing. This comes from Fool's Made here. I believe our right wing is going to be the difference whoever starts there, and it appears it is going to be Nico Gonzalez. There were a lot of shouts for Chico Conceição to get the start after the fantastic cameo against Genoa. Would you have started Chico Conceição?
No, I said it last week. Because their left side is their strongest, and Nico actually works a lot, also defensively. And I feel like Conceição is like against tired legs. That's where he's a real weapon.
Yeah.
And that's where he's going to shine. So yeah, like the super sub role so far, similar to like what Costa used to do.
Yes. And that's what a lot of the fan base is saying is super sub, defense, tired legs. But to Fool's Mate point here, that right wing is critical and could very much be the difference. And the reason is we talked a lot about Raum in the build up to this game, who plays the left side, but also Xavi Simons, who will be playing that left side as well. So Kalulu, who will be on the right back there, will need a lot of help from Gonzalez as well as McKennie. So they're all going to be important, but that right wing role could be massive. Just as much as the Fagioli or Locatelli spot to help out the center backs in a two-man front of Seshko and Openda. There's matchups all over the place.
Yeah, and I think the defensive solidity Kalulu offers kind of gives Nico or Conceição, whoever plays there, a bit more confidence. Like, because Cambiasa gets caught out of position more often than not, and he is always the one who needs to sprint back. But Kalulu is staying there. Like, he's very defensively aware and he's always in the right position. He barely makes any slide tackles because he's just always there. So his defensive solidity gives a bit more leeway to the right winger.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be an unreal match today. We talked about all these matchups. We highlighted it the best we can to get you guys ready. We're fired up for it. I hope you are too. And the nerves around this one. Yeah, I don't usually get this antsy, this nervous when we wrap up a show and the game's at 12 p.m. my time, so it's at noon. But I'm actually like, I'm anxious for this one to start like now.
Oh,
like I just want
that's
to be there
brutal.
watching.
That's brutal waiting so long after the
Oh
show. I
man.
like the shows when it's like 1 hour after the show the match
The
starts.
past few weekend ones, we've been, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
show's done. You get like an hour to just kind of ready. And now I'm ready to go. But now this one, we wrap up this show. These are the worst. When you got to wait now, we got 5 hours till kickoff. That's tough. That's tough. On
That's
the
a lot.
weekend, though, Sunday, Cagliari, we got the espresso match, baby. We got the espresso match at 3:30 a.m. my time. So again, unfortunately, no watch along today, but for the espresso match, 3:30 a.m. my time, yep, you betcha, we're doing a watch along. I'll be running a watch along 3:30 a.m. We'll get in there around 3:15, get ready for kickoff and everything. So that'll be the watch along. The pre-game show we'll probably do the day before. Okay, so look for that live to be on Saturday because otherwise we'll just be jam-packed. So let's do it that way, okay? And we've got one last one we're going to finish with. Which player do you have highest expectations on tonight? Okay, so difference from importance or who's going to be key player or whatnot, I'll change it up for as far as expectations. He's been growing with every single match, and I think like we finally saw a moment, just one moment against Genoa where he showed you some serious class and execution. I'm saying it's Cope Miners. Cope Miners will carry a lot of expectations for me in this game to really help break things for us and be dangerous in terms of creation. So I'll say for expectations, Cope Miners. Omer?
Yeah, I would agree. He's the conductor in attack. Like, when he gets the ball, you expect something to happen. You're looking for that pass. You're looking all over the pitch to see who's making a move because you expect him to pick it up. And so yeah, my eyes are on him.
There you go. There you go. Let's see what him and all the lads can bring. All right, that wraps up your show today. Again, we got to wait a while, but the anticipation will only make it that much better, and hopefully we get the job done and get the victory. All right, you guys know the drill. Like this video, join and subscribe. Join our AJC Army today if you haven't already. We're going to be back tomorrow morning with the post-match podcast. And Juve, make it a victory show, baby. Let's go. Enjoy the match, everybody. Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.
Yeah.